Families losing their homes over HOA fines.
Bring the lien, I'm bringing the lawsuit.
Police doubt a man's disability.
Just watched me writhe on the ground.
Her life depends on power, and the bill is past due.
I'm worried about dying.
When systems fail, people pay the price. We trace the damage, expose the truth, and fight to fix it. This is Uncovered by Atlanta News First Investigates. Your homeowners association may have more power over your property than you realize. More than 2 million Georgians live in communities with HOAs. They're meant to protect communities, but in Georgia, they're barely regulated. That gives HOAs the power to file liens and even foreclose on homes. Atlanta News First investigator Anastasia Olmos shows us what happens when homeowners fight back.
It was very hard. It was hard.
Michelle Bernard remembers the challenges she faced buying her home.
When I came searching in this subdivision, I was advised that I could not afford its subdivision by the realtor.
He was wrong, but 2 decades later, the business owner, wife, and mom says she feels like she's still fighting to own the home.
It doesn't make any sense for any hard-working individual to go through these things.
Michelle lives in Channing Cove, a subdivision of about 40 homes in Conyers.
This is considered our community's common area.
With 3 of these common grass areas and this retention pond, original homeowners agreed to $100 annual HOA dues, what Michelle describes as reasonable. Today, they're $200, but
they have forced people to pay thousands and thousands of dollars and have never provided proof that they owe it.
Fines and fees for things like pond maintenance and replacing garage doors without HOA permission. Michelle and at least 2 other homeowners tell Atlanta News First Investigates they've asked for receipts and bank statements of where the money's going, but they've never received it.
All they send out is a typed up Excel spreadsheet and want you to believe whatever's on that spreadsheet.
And when they refuse to pay, the fees start to rack up. Court records show the HOA has placed liens on 5 homes for unpaid balances. 2 homeowners tell us they've paid fees just to avoid losing their homes.
I told them, bring the lien, I'm bringing the lawsuit.
Michelle is one of 2 homeowners suing the HOA for the charges that they believe are fraudulent.
They're made up fees.
The community voted for this homeowner to take over as president last year. He wouldn't go on camera for concerns with his day job, but he tells us he resigned when he couldn't get a financial audit.
I'm not going to take over when I don't know what he's done.
That left the previous president, Orton Reynolds, in charge.
I'm with Atlanta News First Investigates. We are currently recording right now. We've received some concerns about the financials with the Homeowners Association, and we wanted to ask you if you're aware of the concerns in the community.
Don't know anything about any concern about any financial of the community.
Reynolds tells us they send financial documentation out quarterly, referring to these Excel sheets.
They claim the money has possibly been misused.
I would say that's an improper and incorrect statement.
Okay.
And not true.
Would you share the receipts and financials with Atlanta News First?
Receipts about what?
Under Georgia law, homeowners have a right to see all HOA receipts.
Georgia has a lot of HOA issues.
Real estate attorney Patience Casey Sadie deals with hundreds of HOA cases a year. Fines, fees, and liens top the list of issues.
There's no monetary limit. What the law bases on is reasonableness.
In Channing Cove, residents question what's reasonable. Just days after we spoke with the president, homeowners received 2 new emailed policies prohibiting them from divulging personal information and making slanderous statements about other property owners. According to the policy, they must write an apology letter within 48 hours of receiving a warning, and if it's against a board member, that's a $1,500 fine.
They're trying to force me to settle the lawsuit.
Michelle's lien was for less than $3,000, but she says the HOA is offering her a $40,000 settlement, denying most of the allegations.
Why would they offer you money?
To make it go away.
But Michelle says a payout from the HOA's insurance isn't accountability.
I need someone to address this because it's affecting our community.
Under Georgia law, homeowners have the right to view financial records. Fines and fees must be reasonable, and major changes to rules require a 2/3 vote.
I've got the woman of the hour, Anastasia Olmos. You are so popular because of these HOA stories. This story did numbers, as the kids would say, across social media. people were wanting to figure out who her attorney was so that
Yes.
they could hire them.
Right, and that's weird as a journalist to get the responses to your story, people asking for the attorney's information so that they could contact them and get help with their HOA issues, because I had to go to our boss and ask, are we handing out her number? Or, just, take the name, Google it yourself. But it really spoke to how widespread the HOA problems are, not just in the state of Georgia, girl, but across the country.
I mean, and talk about this homeowner, because yes, she won, and it seems to be like celebrated by our audience, and of course, so many other people in HOA predicaments like this one. But she didn't really want to settle, right?
And I didn't realize that was going to be the takeaway from the story for so many people, is that this homeowner did settle with her HOA for $40,000. She walked away with, I don't even know how to multiply how many times more that was than what she originally owed on her home, which was close to $2,000 to the HOA, walking away with $40,000. But if you pay attention closely to the story details, it is a motion to enforce the settlement. So it wasn't, she agreed to this settlement. They filed a motion to get the judge to enforce that amount, and she didn't have a choice. She was even so upset after this story aired, coming back to me, because she received the bill for the attorney. So out of that $40,000, she had to pay more than $10,000 in their attorney's fees. And this is in addition to what the homeowners throughout the entire community have on their dues now, which is $7,000 split among them to pay for the attorneys for the HOA.
Wow.
And all of this is legal.
I mean, and part of the reason why this story resonated with so many people is because HOAs are so prevalent in the state of Georgia, particularly if you're living in a suburb area. We said at the top of the story, at least like 2 million Georgians have an HOA for their neighborhood. I know you got some big takeaways for our viewers, our listeners. What do they need to know?
So many people affected, and it's not all HOAs. Some HOAs are really doing their best to upkeep the pool and the lawn care and just be there for homeowners when they need something. But if you are a homeowner and you are dealing with issues, here are your rights. You have the right to view financial records. That includes itemized receipts, not just a spreadsheet of here's what we're spending and what we're charging. No, you get to see where it's going and how much. You also need to be considered, fines and fees reasonable. Technically you have to go to court and define that reasonable, but come on, we know. If you were paying $1,500 for your grass being, a centimeter too long, would that be reasonable? So you really want to negotiate. That is your right there. And in addition, any major changes to the rules, for example, if they say that you may no longer have your home be the color white, that is a major change for homeowners. That has to be approved with a 2/3 vote of the members in the HOA community.
Wow, we know HOAs, that's really a topic that just keeps on giving, and it seems like the state of Georgia, at least some lawmakers try every year to get some legislation. So we'll definitely be watching come 2026.
Stay with us. I mean, I am pumping out story after story, and people are contacting us. I also created a form, which is on our website right now. Go to one of our HOA stories at atlantanewsfirst.com, click on the Investigates tab, and fill out the form if you are dealing with an issue with your HOA. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, we know you will stay on top of it. Thanks so much for talking about this very important story. You can report your homeowners association issues to Atlanta News First Investigates. Text HOA to the number on your screen to share details about your experience and help us track and report HOA practices in Georgia.
An innocent man arrested after reports of a violent home invasion.
So what happened?
He kicked in the door.
A police investigation called into question in College Park.
So what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out.
A Metro Atlanta Police Department accused of failing to fully investigate a violent home invasion. Stunning body camera footage shows the moment an innocent man was taken into custody. Atlanta News First investigative reporter Andy Pirani uncovered the allegations were part of an allegedly fabricated story.
532, just confirming you're advising to go 20 front door.
College Park police respond to a home in June 2024.
Oh, thank God.
Hi, how you doing?
after Catherine Jensen says her ex-boyfriend attacked her minutes before they arrived.
So what happened?
He kicked in the door. I ran. He choked me out. Tried to get the keys from my hand of my truck.
So he grabbed you by your neck?
Mm-hmm. Handle him myself. I'm too small.
You say he kicked the door in?
He did.
Charles Reed is the man Catherine claimed broke into her home and assaulted her.
She said I kicked in the door.
And why is that a problem?
Because I'm in a wheelchair and have been for 25 years.
Oh, come there.
Charles cannot move his legs. He's paraplegic following an accident when he was a teenager. Andrew Fleischman is Charles' attorney.
She describes that he's of average build.
Tall, short.
Average height.
That he has brown hair, that he's in black clothing.
So all black?
I want to say yes, sir.
But not that he's in a wheelchair. Never mentions it. And that is probably the number one thing you'd mention about somebody.
Especially as they're running away.
On foot.
I guess he took off on foot.
Charles and Catherine did date, but it was more than 20 years ago. They never kept in touch. He's been married for a decade with a newborn. And the day of the alleged attack, Charles says he was at a dinner party with friends.
Did police contact you at all?
No, not at all. Not a single time.
You didn't get a phone call?
Not a phone call.
You didn't get an email?
Not an email. Not a visit.
No one questioned you about this?
Nope.
For 9 months, Charles says he had no clue officers had a warrant out for his arrest for aggravated assault until the federal government alerted him when he tried to renew his passport. So he emailed Officer McKinley Boletti and set up a time to meet.
Then I finally go up there literally knowing absolutely nothing about it. I essentially surrendered myself because I was that innocent.
According to the body camera video, Officer Boletti questioned whether he was actually disabled.
Unfortunately, you do have the warrant out for your arrest, so I'm gonna have to place you into custody.
Is this a joke?
Charles warned the officer putting handcuffs on would likely make him fall because of his paralysis.
I'm sitting there literally exactly like this in my chair, and so he handcuffs me, and I'm like, hey, like, just FYI, like, I can't move.
I literally can't. I don't have muscle control.
It's too late.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I mean, I could have broken my hip and died, like, very quickly.
How did they respond?
They literally sat there and just watched me writhe on the ground.
The officer still didn't believe Charles was disabled. Neither did his supervisor, who never put his eyes on Charles before saying this.
It's a ruse, man.
So,
I mean, it's an obvious attempt to not to go to jail.
So
A fellow officer disagreed.
Might need to call the district attorney's office, because if the door was kicked in, he didn't kick it in.
Finally, Officer Boletti admits he could be wrong.
Because now it's looking like she might have made a false report.
He started to hurt me about March of this year. And
A year before Catherine claimed Charles assaulted her, the Noonan Police Department, about 30 miles away, arrested her for theft and forgery after allegedly filing a false police report claiming someone stole from her. Fleischman says officers have access to a state database identifying prior arrests, but Officer Boletti never mentions Catherine's arrest record in the incident report.
I've never seen a case where somebody was so clearly innocent and it would take so little work to establish it and nobody was willing to do the work.
it was a tumultuous relationship.
According to this email obtained by Charles' attorney, Catherine wrote to a College Park police detective 9 months after filing her original report, asking to change her statement, writing, "My mental state and physical trauma in that moment worked to confuse me. Please contact me at your convenience so I can edit the information in the report and clear the name of an innocent man."
How's this impacted you?
Well, I haven't been able to leave my house in a meaningful way in 2 or 3 months, just out of fear that I'll be picked up for an arrest warrant.
Has the police department apologized?
Not a single bit. Haven't heard a word from them. In fact, we've been trying to get into communication with them repeatedly, both me and my lawyer.
Because ultimately, that's all we're asking for, just to be adults. Take responsibility when you make a mistake and try to fix it.
The city of College Park says it's investigating, but would not respond to questions from ANF Investigates. We reached out to Catherine Jensen. She did not respond, but her mother says she acknowledges Charles did not attack her.
Andy, this is such a wild story. It's one of those that went viral for us, and it aired a few months ago. So Get me up to date on everything. What's happened since then?
Yeah, so just a short time after it was posted on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, the city dropped the charges against Charles. The Officer Belletti, still works there, and at last check, Catherine, the woman who filed the alleged false report, has never been arrested.
And we've talked about it. You wanted to handle this matter with care. Yeah. What has the mom of this woman who originally made the report, we know you talked to her, what has she said about her daughter? It's a tricky situation.
Yeah, so I don't know if I can go into detail of exactly what her mental state was at that time, but basically said, I'm focused on helping my daughter, and basically they did not say that she didn't file a false police report when I reached out to her, but they were hyper-focused on trying to figure out how to help their daughter.
Let's talk a little bit about Charles, because after this story aired, I remember reading a lot of the comments, and there was still some like back and forth with the commenters really questioning whether he was bound to a wheelchair. And it's so shocking to see some people still doubt. So can you explain a little bit of him being in the wheelchair? Just because he was in there, I know when he was able to move his legs, some people were like, oh, well, he's faking it because he can move his legs, but that wasn't a part of his diagnosis.
Right, and when he's moving his legs, he's lifting them up too. And I didn't provide all the details of how he became in the condition that he was, but essentially 20 years ago, he was shot. He was shot and it left him paralyzed. He survived. So he has constantly had to deal with this issue for 20 years. And so when he hears that he allegedly kicked down this woman's door, a woman he hasn't seen in 20 years, and by the way, when they dated, he was in a wheelchair. So it's not like she was thinking back to a time where they didn't know each other and he was able to walk and stuff. He was in a wheelchair, so it's really disconcerting when you see those type of comments.
You feel really bad for him and his family because he had to be arrested. What has it been like for them since your story has aired? How are they doing?
When I reached out to them a while ago, for months they were scared to leave the house.
Wow.
And he can drive. He has a modified vehicle where he could drive, and he was so scared to even get on the road because he was afraid that there was another pending warrant out for his arrest. So mentally, this really impacted his family.
Well, stunning story and excellent reporting. We know you'll stay on top of it. Thanks so much for joining us. To watch the full body camera video of Charles inside the police department and the city's full statement, go to the story on AtlantaNewsFirst.com.
Power needed to stay alive.
I need service in order to freaking live.
Atlanta News First investigates after a late electric bill nearly costs a woman her life.
If you've ever been shocked by your power bill, imagine if an overdue balance could cut off your life support. Some Georgians get extra time to pay, but not everyone. Atlanta News First Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe uncovers how a patchwork of power rules leaves vulnerable patients at risk of disconnection.
This tornado is a confirmed tornado on the ground.
Power lines down everywhere. There's houses that are damaged, buildings damaged.
This is a strong, powerful tornado on the ground right now in Spalding County, moving over the city of Griffin.
For all of us, a power outage during a storm is an inconvenience.
Yeah.
For you, it's life.
It's life or death.
More than 15,000 people without power right now.
Without that power,
my pump's gonna stop, and then my heart can stop.
These batteries power the heart pump keeping Tina Marsden alive 12 hours at a time. After tornadoes in Georgia, she was powerless for 6 days.
There was a Griffin fireman and his wife. They were like, you know, you shouldn't have to be going through this, and we're gonna bring you our generator. And that saved my life.
The power line to her house, a lifeline.
Hello, City of Griffin.
I want to postpone disconnection.
There is an order for it to be disconnected.
I can come home with a new prescription, and now all of a sudden I can't afford this prescription, so I have to decide between paying a light bill, paying part of a light bill.
I have a heart pump that pumps my heart, and my power was turned off this morning.
Unfortunately, we don't do payment arrangements or extensions past the 7-day grace period.
If you need power to live, you get one additional day.
1 day.
One additional day from that 7 days.
The City of Griffin combines electric, trash, and water charges into a single bill. If you don't pay for garbage collection, they cut off your power.
And I need to be turned back on because I have life-sustaining medical equipment. Unless you're going to allow me to die at home over $80.
There's no law in Georgia covering these municipal electrical services or electrical cooperatives. They don't have to follow the same rules as, say, Georgia Power.
That is correct. So they are self-regulated in a sense.
Your protection depends on where you live. Here in New York, customers dependent on life support equipment get at least an extra 3 months to pay their electric bill, no matter who supplies the power. But here in Louisiana, it's a bit trickier because those extended deadlines don't apply to city-run or cooperative utilities. Same here in Ohio, where medical waivers grant at least an extra 30 days for life support customers of investor-owned power companies, just like Georgia Power. But electric cooperatives and city-owned utilities can leave life support customers powerless.
Their city commissions make their policies.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Griffin Board of Commissioners.
Tina fought to get Griffin to add a grace period for medically dependent customers.
I was hospitalized 23 days last month.
But before the City Commission added 1 extra day.
Hello.
Yes. This is City of Griffin. I'm the collection manager.
Tina got a collections call on her way to the hospital.
We don't do extensions past your 7-day grace period.
It's just a bad time right now because I'm literally in the back of an ambulance being transported to Atlanta Piedmont. I have to have power because I have a life-sustaining medical equipment. I understand you guys don't have a priority list. Like I said, right now it's not a good time. I only answered because I didn't know if you were my doctor's calling.
Okay, well, this account has till 6 o'clock today to be paid.
So when I'm in the ambulance, can you say that again? The sirens are on.
The account has until 6 o'clock today to be paid, or it starts coming up on the cutoff list tomorrow. The only way to keep it from going on the cutoff list, you've run out of your 7 days.
I told you I'm in the back of an ambulance. I'm a heart patient, so I'm telling you right now, I'm worried I have a blood clot in my heart. I'm worried about dying.
Okay, take care of your personal.
Thank you. And I'll pay 75% online.
Okay, that'll be fine.
I'm pretty sure you'll document this conversation.
Ma'am, I thought you were medically concerned right now.
Hold on.
Okay.
I am. I'm ambulance right now.
Come on,
so yeah, it's a problem. Because I'm having to talk to you, and I told you, I thought you were my doctor. That's the only reason I answered. And then to receive this type of service from the city of Griffin, that's a definite problem. So you're right. I'm worried about living right now, but instead of being able to do that, I'm arguing with you about an electric bill that I need service in order to freaking live. I will talk to you guys when I get out the hospital.
I'm joined now with Chief Investigative Reporter Brendan Keefe. So good to have you here. I want to immediately get to that last few seconds of this story. So compelling. She's on that call, but she's in the back of the ambulance and they're trying to secure payment from her.
Well, look, the collections manager didn't know she was in an ambulance when he called, but then once he found out, she's on her way to the hospital, and he already knows she has a medical condition because he has talked to her before, and his whole department has talked to her before. At that moment, really the call should have ended, at least in Tina's perspective. But the call keeps going on, and in fact, he is trying to extract a payment from her to make sure that her power gets back on.
And for people that might want to argue the other end, like, well, she's used the power, she should pay her bills, point out that she is willing to pay her bills, right?
Absolutely. Tina says she's not asking for a handout or even a hand up. What she's asking for is some flexibility. When she has to decide every single month, do I pay for my prescription medication that essentially allows my heart to keep beating, or do I pay my electric bill that's powering the medical device that is allowing my heart to keep beating? This is a choice every single month for her because she's disabled. She has a limited and fixed income. And it's quite literally a choice. With that flexibility, if she had 30 days, she could extend it to when she actually had the money to pay the bill. She says she will pay the bill once she gets the money. She just needs that flexibility that her neighbors get if they have Georgia Power.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to see the predicament she's in. One thing you do a good job at explaining in this story is how every city or state is a little different. We see you do 4 different shots from 4 different parts of the country. Explain why it's different here compared to somewhere else in the country.
Yeah, I had this idea because I was traveling for work and some personal trips where I knew I was going to be in 4 different states over a week. And I said, oh, how am I going to get this story done when I'm going to be in 4 different states in a week? Wait, I'm going to be in 4 different states in a week. What if I checked those states to see the different policies and then recorded the same exact script but in all 4 cities walking toward the camera, and then it can simply cut from one to the other. It's not just a gimmick. What it is a way of showing that this varies so widely, not only state to state, but it also varies widely within a state. There are literally houses next to each other where if you live in this house, you get an extra 30 to 60 days to pay your electric bill, but in this house, you get 1 extra day, and then they cut off your power.
I mean, let's talk solutions here, because we know the audience wants to know about that. What do lawmakers have to say about this? I know you've looked into possible legislation.
And it's because of Tina. What happened was she was talking at an American Heart Association event with a state lawmaker, this Representative Lim. And Representative Lim said, wait, we can fix that. He filed HB 641, a House bill that was filed last year or the beginning of this year, but basically last session of a 2-year session. And as a result, it's still alive, the bill, into next January. So the bill actually has a chance of passing still. It's still alive because it was never voted up or down. And what that would do is it would give people who are on electric cooperatives or municipal power companies, it would give them the same extension they would get if they were with an investor-owned utility like, say, Georgia Power.
Well, we know you'll stay on top of it this upcoming legislative session. Thanks so much, Brendan. From corporate wrongdoing and government corruption to social injustices and environmental crises, Atlanta News First Investigates is uncovering the stories that matter to you. Watch Uncovered Sunday nights at 7, only on Atlanta News First.